What experience do you have with goats?
Before they came to Cuttyhunk, zero experience with goats, none whatsoever.
Hmm.
Totally clueless.
Um, what are the things you do to care for them?
Well, the things I did here was I gave them water on a daily basis, and I checked to make sure the electricity was running because I didn't want them to get out or coyotes to get in. And the third thing I did was I tried to give them a little play area, so I moved my granddaughter Adelaide's play slide and climbing station into the goat pen so the goats could use that to entertain themselves.
How big was the where they stay?
Well, the area, when, when we contracted with the people for the goats, the goats came from the Goatscaping company. They said that the goats could eat 1/4 of an acre, clear 1/4 of an acre per week. The area that we fenced off, and we initially put the goats in, was about 1/8 of an acre, so half as big as a 1/4 of an acre. And it took them about 12 days to clear that space. So they were in 1/8 of an acre, and it took them 12 days to clear it.
How much does leasing the goats cost, and how do you think it's worth the money?
It costs $800 a week right now to lease the goats. They did offer us, if we had 2 goat herds on island, that each herd could be purchased for $650 a week. I don't think that it makes any economic sense to pay those prices and to continue to pay those prices to have goats on Cuttyhunk. It's just too much money for too little gain. It's nice entertainment, and it's a good experiment that we're doing to see if goats make sense. But in the long run, we need to either rent goats by the season, not by the week, at a much lower rate, or we need to own our own goats.
All right, last question. What if a goat gets sick?
Well, they gave me some Pepto-Bismol, so there's some pink Pepto-Bismol down there. And they also said sometimes if they eat the wrong thing, there's something you can give them some charcoal, and you inject a little charcoal into them, put it in their mouth, and that'll make the goat throw up what the goat ate, and make the goat feel better right away. Fortunately, I haven't had to do any of that, and I'm not planning to do any of that. The other thing that if the goats get sick, Jay Merriam, who lives next to us in the summer, said that I could call him at any time, and he would give me some help over the phone with the goats.
All right, thank you.
Why did you decide to take care of the goats?
Well, it was Jim's idea. It was originally Jim Barry's idea. And it was his idea because he thought it would help with the tick population here. And so Jim Barry was talking to my Jim about it, and then he started talking to Jay Merriam about it, and my Jim said, you know what, I got this. So he Googled goats for landscaping, and this company on the South Shore of south of Boston came up, and he emailed them and made the arrangement.
So, how do the goats get along?
How did the goats get along? Well, the little one doesn't get along with the big ones because they sort of bully him around. But the others seem to get along pretty well. You think? Yeah, I'd say they're pretty good. They have fun playing, though. One of them will jump up high and bring his head down and pretend like he's going to knock the head off the other guy, but he doesn't really. So they're pretty good.
Why do you think the big goats pick on the smaller goat?
I think it's a pecking order that all animals, hummingbirds, do the same thing. They sort of, have to have somebody who's on top. Horses do that too, a lot of animals. So they're establishing the pecking order, make sure that little guy doesn't think he's the top dog or goat.
Would you or anyone else consider leasing goats in the future? Why or why not?
I would. I think it's pretty expensive the way we're doing it now. But look down there. You can see on our porch. Well, you can't take the picture right now, but they've done a great job. But it's a little expensive right now. Be nice though if somebody could come here and they could make goat's milk and have cheese. And I even heard there's goat soap. Have you heard about that? So pretty cool.
What experience do you have with goats?
I grew up in New Hampshire on a farm, and we had a lot of sheep, and we used the goats actually to keep the sheep in order, and they sort of moved them around for us, and they were a nuisance. So they got out of the fence. We didn't have a nice fence like these guys have.
Have the goats tried to escape here? Did they want to leave the area?
I think they were pretty happy eating the green that was here. They didn't try to escape, but of course they know that fence is electric, so I don't know if they wanted to escape or not because they didn't try.
What experience do you have with goats?
Only a childhood recollection of my grandmother in Pennsylvania. When she and her husband retired, they bought a little farm and they had goats, and she made goat's milk fudge, which I recall was delicious.
I'm going to be interviewing you on the goat. Well, when you first saw the goats, what did you think?
I thought they were adorable. When they came off the boat, it was the first time I saw them. I thought they were adorable, but I also knew they were very strong. There was the one I had yesterday, he's very strong. And I also was curious whether 4 of them could do the job. You know, what kind of job 4 of them would do. I thought they were very well behaved, considering they'd be locked up for however long on the boat ride over.
Would you wish to have the goats for a longer amount of time?
Yes. I think they could have been here on our property probably a week or 2 more, so up to 3 weeks, I think. And I think what will happen is we will now go in there, and now that we can see what's there, and now you can cut a tree down because you can see where it comes out of instead of all the brush around it, so you can just go and remove those. So I would do that in between, you know, in conjunction with having the goats there for a longer period of time, so they can get into deeper places, do more of a job.
Hello, we are going to be interviewing you for the goats. What are your thoughts on the goats so far?
I think it's a very interesting project. It's fun to watch them. I like that it's all natural. And they seem to be munching away and doing a good job, but it's slower than it would be if you got the machine out and did it that way. So I don't know how expensive they are, how much they cost, but it's been fun to watch.
Do you think the island should purchase the goats for permanently?
Sure, I do. It depends on how much they cost and if there's somebody to take care of them. But, yeah, they seem to be doing their job.
Do you think they're doing enough for the island?
Well, they're doing it slowly, and it's hard to know. And it's hard to know how fast things would grow back. We might need more than 4. I don't know.
How many would you suggest getting?
12.